Hey guys, John here. In today's video, we are checking out the new ESP LTD RZK-III Richard Sven Krupse's signature model. It's kind of like a Phoenix, but it has some very unique features that I've never seen before on a guitar. So let's get into it and let's dive in straight away with a demo track. Take a listen. All right, that was the ESP LTD RZK-III on the bridge pickup on the active voicing. So voice 1 through the Synergy SYN20IR with the DRECT module loaded in. That module is based on a dual rectifier from the early 90s, I think a Rev D, if I'm not mistaken, which is supposed to be similar to the rectifiers that Richard likes to use because he likes to use those old rectifiers as well. So I wanted to use that to sort of get that signature RZK sound, if you will. The Synergy was sent into my Grossmann Fatbox 1x12 ISO cab, in which I had loaded up my UK-made Celestion Vintage 30. And I think it sounded absolutely awesome there. Of course, that speaker was mic'd up with 2 SM57s and 1 MD421 Kompakt sent into the DAW, where I only applied a high-pass filter to cut out some of those super low lows. And of course, for one section of the song, I used the kill switch, which is one of the unique features of this guitar. And of course, I'll let you hear some more tones later in this video, so stay tuned for that. Now, in case you're not aware, this is a signature model for RZK, which is short for Richard Sven Krupse from the band Rammstein. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. This is him in this little picture over here. Rammstein is one of my favorite bands. Richard is a great influence to me. I love his music. I love his guitar tones. And I also really enjoy his solo project, Emigrate. I think it's excellent. And if you're a Rammstein fan, or maybe not even a Rammstein fan, I definitely would recommend that to you. It's great rock with great melodic vocals and stuff. Anyway, so throughout the years, Richard has had a bunch of signature models with ESP. And this one is quite unique in comparison to his older signature models. Of course, this has the Phoenix body shape, and I happen to love the ESP Phoenix shape. I have a bunch of those. I think the body shape is just really cool looking, and I like the fact that all the Phoenixes are neck through, so they're just really solid with tons of sustain and resonance. And yeah, they look really cool and sit comfortably on the lap. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, and I'm not just saying this, I think this might be the best LTD that I've ever played, and I've played many LTDs in my life. This thing is magic. It's just super well put together. It feels really good to play. Sounds awesome. So yeah, I absolutely love this thing. Now, the way this guitar came about has a cool story. So Richard was recording a video clip for a song called Freeze My Mind for his solo project Emigrate. And for that video, he wanted something different. So he asked Zven from Sound Service, who do the ESP distribution in Europe, if he could borrow a guitar, and Stefan gave him his Phoenix. I think it was a slightly older model of the Phoenix, and he used that for the video and liked the sort of classy and more classic look of that guitar. And that inspired him to create this new signature model together with ESP, but he wanted to make some tweaks to the guitar to make it his own. Now let me grab one of my other Phoenixes so that we can take a look at some of the differences between a regular Phoenix and this Phoenix. All right, so I've grabbed my Phoenix 1000 Deluxe, this guy over here. This was actually the first Phoenix that I ever bought. And as you can see by looking at the body, there are some differences. Now, in this case, you can see that the body, that the neck, the piece of the neck sort of pokes out on top there. Not all the Phoenix models have this, but most of them do, which kind of has that classic Firebird look, if you will. Whereas this one has a totally flat top, right? As I mentioned, there are some models in the Phoenix line that also have a flat top, but that's one thing that sets it apart from the classic Phoenix, if you will. Another big difference is the headstock. So the normal Phoenix headstock shape is quite long, as you can see. And then the RZK has the classic Richard headstock shape, which has been on all his signature models. So it's a little bit more compact because of that. It's less long because of that. Another thing that sets the RZK apart from the other Phoenixes is the fact that we have a maple neck, a satin maple neck with no finish on it, basically, whereas all the Phoenixes that I own do have finished necks, whether they are satin or clear gloss. Another very unique difference between the RZK-III and all the other Phoenixes is the recessed bridge and tailpiece. We'll get into that in a minute as well. So this is just to give you an idea of some of the differences between a regular Phoenix and the RZK-III. All right, so let's take a look at all the specs and features that this guitar has to offer. As I mentioned, this guitar has a neck-through design, so the neck is going all through the body, which is great for sustain and resonance. It just makes the guitar feel and sound so solid. We have two alder body wings, which is also something that sets this model apart from my other Phoenixes, because all the other Phoenixes, as far as I'm aware, have mahogany body wings. Now, I don't recall if all the other Phoenixes have mahogany necks or maple necks. I think they have mahogany necks, not 100% sure. But of course, this guitar has a three-piece maple neck. And as I mentioned, the neck finish is satin, so it feels super smooth in the hand. We also have a 25.5-inch scale length, just as all the other Phoenixes aside from the 7-string baritone. And that means that this guitar has a nice tension to the strings, which can be great for down tuning, so say drop C and tunings like that. I have it tuned to drop C sharp right now with a set of 10s, so 10 to 46 with Elixir strings, which are my favorite strings. Of course, we have this Olympic white finish on the front and the back, which looks absolutely gorgeous, as well as on the top of the headstock here. And then we have this black binding over here, which gives it a very classy and unique look. I really like how that looks. So the combination between black, white, and the chrome hardware. Now, as I mentioned, the back of the neck, which is satin maple, has a very smooth feel, but it's also a very comfortable neck shape. I think it's extra thin U. And yeah, it feels so fast in the hand. It's absolutely one of the most comfortable guitars that I've ever played because of that. And then we have 22 extra jumbo frets, stainless steel, so they're going to last very long. The frets have been leveled perfectly, so you can get your action nice and low. And the edges of the frets feel very smooth as well. So they paid a lot of attention to, finishing up this guitar and to making it very comfortable to play, which is awesome. The fretboard is rosewood. It's quite dark, so I thought it was ebony at first, but according to the website, it's a rosewood fretboard, and it looks gorgeous. And then, of course, we have these unique inlays over here, kind of Rammstein-y. I think they use this shape on their album covers or on the stage as well. And on the side of the neck, we have glow-in-the-dark side dots as well. So, you'll be able to find your way on the fretboard in the dark as well. Of course, on the headstock, we have LTD locking tuners, which are very stable, really awesome. I just need to echo how I love this headstock design with the Phoenix body. At first I had to get used to it because I was just so used to the Phoenix shape with that regular headstock, which also looks great. But now that I have this guitar and that I've seen it in real life, I absolutely love the look of this headstock with this guitar. As you can see, I have some foam here. A lot of times people ask me why I put foam under the strings past the nuts. It's just to mute unwanted resonances. Nothing special. Now in terms of the hardware, we have chrome hardware. This is a Tone Pro's Tune-O-Matic bridge with a tailpiece. And one of the unique things about this guitar is that the bridge and the tailpiece have been recessed into the body so that the guitar has a lower profile, kind of like a Floyd Rose. So if you know Richard's other signature guitars, most of them, if not all of them, have a Floyd Rose bridge. And when they were building the prototypes for his signature models, they were testing some guitars. Some of them had a Floyd and one of them had a fixed bridge. And then Richard did a blind test where he tried all those models to see which one would sound the best. And lo and behold, the guitar with the fixed bridge simply sounded the best. And that's why they decided to go for a fixed bridge on his signature model as opposed to doing a Floyd Rose. And I like that because I tend to prefer fixed bridges in general. But in order to get the feel closer to that low profile Floyd Rose feel, they simply lowered the bridge into the body so that it feels more comfortable for him. And I think it feels really comfortable as well. So that is cool. It's a bit different feeling than the other Phoenixes in terms of the low profile. We also have this black brushed pickguard, which works really well with the theme of the guitar or the color theme with the black and white. The volume control is huge. It looks very industrial, but it does the job, right? We have a 3-way position switch, so bridge pickup, both pickups, neck pickup. And then we have this little switch over here that lets you switch between 2 different kill switch modes. I'll get into that in a minute, but basically on the default mode, it's a standard kill switch. And then on the other mode, it works the opposite way. So then you get sound when you depress it. And of course, these are the Fishman RZK signature pickups, which I also have in another guitar. They sound really awesome, very tight and focused and quite aggressive, especially on voice 1, of course, which is the active voicing. And that's the default voicing on this guitar. However, when you pull up the volume control, you get access to voice 3, which is the single coil sound. Now I want to let you guys hear some of those other tonal options like voice 3 and the neck pickup as well. So let's try another demo with this guitar, again through the Synergy SYN20IR, but this time with the Bogner Uberschall module. Take a listen. All right, that was awesome. So same setup aside from the Synergy module, which was the Uberschall module right now. I started off with a clean tone on the neck pickup with voice 1. Then I went to a distorted tone with the bridge pickup on voice 1. Then I switched to voice 2 for a twangy single coil sound. And then for that little lead bit near the end, I switched to the neck pickup. on voice 1. So it's a quite versatile guitar indeed. All right, so what I'm going to do now is grab this guitar, plug it into my Synergy SYN20IR with the Uberschall module, and just show you the range of tones that these pickups and that this guitar as a whole has to offer. Check it out. All right, guys, I'm sitting here with my beautiful, beautiful new ESP LTD RZK-III. I'm playing it through the Synergy SYN20IR with the Bogner Uberschall module in it. Sounds very tight and aggressive with plenty of gain. And this thing has so much definition. And this guitar is so much fun to play. I can't stop playing it. It's just, yeah, feels great in the hand. It sounds really nice too. So what I'd like to do now is just show you the sounds that this guitar has to offer and some of the unique features. And let's start right away with the kill switch, okay? So as I explained, there are 2 modes to this kill switch that you can choose between with this little toggle switch over here. Right now I'm on the standard mode. So when you hit a chord, for example, and play it, the guitar is on. And then when you press the kill switch, the sound goes off. So you kill the sound. So let's try that. That's like standard operation of a kill switch, I guess. Then when you switch it to the other position, the kill switch basically mutes the sound by default. And then when you press the switch, the sound turns on. So let's try that. So I guess it's easier to get the rhythm correctly with this mode. I don't know, I'm not like a big kill switch user, but it's a fun little feature and I like how they implemented the switch here. It looks kind of cool. And the fact that it's quite big helps to make it easier to hit the switch when you want to do certain sections with the kill switch. I'm going to put it back to the normal mode, right? So where the kill switch kills the tone. Now with the Fishmans, of course, you get 3 voicings, but with this guitar, by stock, there's 2 voicings. So there's voice 1 and voice 3. And I'm gonna just let you hear the sort of voicings that this guitar has to offer, starting with distorted tones and then with some clean tones as well. Let me just play a riff for you and then go through the pickup positions and the voicings as well. We're gonna start with the bridge pickup, and I'm just gonna play a simple riff for you guys on this setting. Now, this sound, so the bridge pickup on the active voicings of voice 1 is very tight and focused sounding on this pickup. So great for metal, obviously. Tons of definition. Let's take a listen again. So that is voice 1. Now when we pull up the volume control, we get voice 3, which is the single coil voicing. Very twangy, right? Let's go back to voice 1 and let's go to the middle position. Very throaty sounding, obviously. Now let's go to voice 3 on the same position. So again, single coil. Let's go back to voice 1 and then check out the neck pickup. Very thick, obviously. And then with voice 3. You know, so that's more of like a stratty tone that you can get with this pickup on that setting, right? Now let's switch to the clean channel of this amplifier and do the same thing. just playing one chord and starting again with the bridge position with voice 1. And then in single coil mode, very twangy, obviously, right? The middle position. And then in the single coil mode or voice 3. And then finally the neck pickup. And the single coil voice. And there you have it. Those are the tones that this guitar has to offer. Now, what I'm going to do after this video is I'm going to wire it a bit differently. I'm going to remove voice 3 from the guitar and enable the option to go between voice 1 and 2, because I prefer that for the bridge pickup for heavy tones and stuff. For clean tones, the bridge pickup, especially on voice 3, is just a bit twangy for my taste, so I want to have some other options there. But that's cool that you can kind of customize that for yourself. All right, so that is the ESP LTD RZK Richard Zven Krupse number 3, the new signature model. And I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. It sounds really good and plays really well. So it's super well made. A lovely guitar that I'm gonna have a lot of fun with for years to come. It is on the heavy side, so it's chunky, which I actually really like, especially in terms of the sound, but also just in terms of the feel, how it feels in the hand. If you like very lightweight guitars, it might not be the guitar for you because of that reason, but yeah, I like that a lot. As I mentioned, the quality and the craftsmanship on this guitar is absolutely excellent. The feel is just so good on the neck, and the frets have been finished so well. There's only one small little finish flaw. There's like a little white line on the binding here. I don't know if you can see it, but that's a very minor thing. I don't mind those cosmetic issues at all. And I know that with my unboxing videos, some of you complained about the price. It's not the most affordable LTD guitars, and I know prices are going up, but if you were to play this guitar blindfolded without knowing that it was an LTD, I assure you that this feels just as expensive and well-made as an E2 guitar, for example. I have a couple E2s here. Those are wonderful, those Eclipses, and this is on par with those guitars. So maybe don't think about the country of origin so much, but just think of the overall quality that you're going to get for that money. And of course, signature guitars also just cost a little bit more. That's just how that works. Now, I really like the Fishman RZK pickups. I do think that the Fishman pickups in general tend to be a little bit more noisy than most of my passive pickups. So they have a bit more of a higher noise floor, as I've noticed. But of course, when you're going to do high gain tones, you need to use a gate anyway, but that's something to keep in mind. I personally prefer having voice 1 and 2 on the bridge pickup, so I'm going to rewire that after this video. Would have been cool if they had another switch on here that lets you, choose between voice 1 and 2, but that's not a big deal at all. But yeah, voice 1 is very tight and articulate, so if that's your thing, you're really going to enjoy voice 1. If you want a bit more of a dynamic and thick tone, I would recommend trying voice 2, because that's a bit more passive sounding, right? So yeah, the quality is very high again. I think it's a beautiful guitar. I like the features that they added and that they changed from the standard Phoenix model. I think this little graphic over here is quite fun. I think with the ESP model, you get the graphic on the front of the guitar, and with the LTD, they put it on the back. I should also mention that you get a nice hard shell case with this guitar, so that is cool. Fits in that case really well. So what else can I say? If it's not obvious already, I absolutely love this guitar. I'm going to use it for many, many years to play many, many riffs on. And I would really recommend to check this guitar out, whether you're a Rammstein or Emigrate fan or not, because it's just so good. Many thanks to the folks at ESP and Sound Service for sending me this guitar. Really appreciate it, you guys. And if you want to support this channel, you can buy this guitar at my affiliate links for Tolman or Sweetwater. and you get to support the channel that way without having to pay anything extra. I'd really appreciate that. You can also get something at my web store, like an IR pack or something like that. And let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on the new ESP LTD RZK-III, because I'd love to know. Also, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, as that really helps the channel out. And you can also follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers!